Welcome back to another Honkai Impact 3 video, and welcome back to Further Beyond Gaming. My name is Cody GT, and in today's video, my boys, we're going to go ahead and take a look at, in my opinion, the top 5 best play styles in the game that fits for me anyways. And we're going to go ahead and look at it, take a look at the Valkyries, and take a look at the gameplay as well. So if you do enjoy the video, go ahead and drop a like. It's greatly appreciated. It means a lot to me. And if you're new to the channel, you enjoy the content, you got something from it, go ahead and consider subscribing. Join the FBG family. Today we are on our way to 10,000 subscribers. We just hit 7K. You guys are amazing. I do appreciate the support and the constant love. It truly means a lot to me. You guys are amazing. Never thought we would get to 7K, and we are on our way to 10K. So truly means a lot to me. But with that out of the way, and with that also being said, let's go ahead and jump straight into the video. Now keep in mind, like I mentioned, this is my top 5 favorite play styles from the Valkyries that I'm going to go ahead and show in today's video. So not necessarily their strength, not necessarily what they bring to the table, just their play style, on how they play, how I enjoy playing with them. So it's probably going to be my most frequent Valkyries that I use most often, just because I enjoy their play style and how they go ahead and, you know, work for me. And with that being said, this video idea was not my own. This was actually from a fellow subscriber, Kenpachi. I'll go ahead and clip that comment in the video so that way you guys can go ahead and give Kenpachi some credit, as this video idea was theirs. So go ahead and show some love. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump straight into the video. Alright guys, so before we go ahead and jump into the gameplay, wanted to go ahead and quickly clip this in so you guys can see and give credit to Kenpachi for the awesome idea for today's video. So like I mentioned, today's video is all about the top 5 most favorite play styles, or most favorite Valkyries that I like to use in the game and use in the most frequent basis. So the first one we're going to go ahead and start off with, probably to no one's surprise if you've been here for any amount of time, is Striker Fulminata. So a quick backstory on Striker Fulminata. She is the augmented version of Valkyrie Blaze Strike. I'm sure you know that already. But when Valkyrie Blaze Strike was not augmented, when it was just Valkyrie Blaze Strike in of herself, she was not a Valkyrie that I would use that often, to be quite honest with you. I would opt for a better biological Valkyrie to go ahead and use, if that makes sense. So instead of Valkyrie Blaze Strike, I would choose a different biological Valkyrie, because there's a lot of them out there that are extremely good. And not to mention, her playstyle just didn't really fit me. When you would use her charge attack, she would kind of just sit still. You would miss a lot of times, not do a whole lot of damage, and it just wasn't really that beneficial. Plus, I didn't have the 3rd Sacred Relic, so I wasn't getting the most damage output when it came to Valkyrie Blaze Strike. But then Valkyrie Blaze Strike got her augmentation, and her augmentation really changed her playstyle entirely. So when you do her charge attack, it actually pushes you forward towards the enemy. When you dodge and then attack, it creates that electrical ball that shoots out and then shoots you towards the enemy. So it makes it to where your attacks don't miss that often, and you're actually hitting the enemy on a more frequent basis. And her attacks are more of a 360 degrees, where initially when she was just Valkyrie Blaze Strike, it would just be in the front, and so you're only hitting enemies in the front. But if there was an enemy behind you on your side, you weren't hitting them, but they were hitting you, and you were taking damage, so, and being interrupted. It just didn't really work out for me when she was just Valkyrie Blaze Strike on her own. But when she became Striker Fulminata, and the ultimate, when you pop the ultimate, not only does it do damage when you actually do the ultimate, but then you have a completely 360 degree protection when you're attacking, and you're able to attack in a greater range. And the damage output, if you have the Third Sacred Relic or even the Dawnbreaker, and you have proper stigmatas when you're doing the attacks, it's fantastic. So Striker Fulminata, one of my most favorite Valkyries. I truly enjoy her. All right, my boys, so we talked about Striker Fulminata. Moving on to, I guess you could say, number 4. I really don't have them in a particular order. This is just how I laid out the gameplay. But I guess you could say in the number 4 spot, we have Vermillion Knight. So when Vermillion Knight dropped, it was a very interesting time for me. This was right after God Kiana, and God Kiana really, I guess you can say, took the love out of the game for me, just because it was very difficult to go ahead and obtain her, and then God Kiana's playstyle just wasn't really fitting for me. As you can see, she's actually not on this list. A spoiler, I know that's probably gonna upset a lot of people, but she's actually not on the list for me. I mean, her range attacks are great. I love what she brings to the table. She's an OP Valkyrie for sure. That is 100% guaranteed a fact, but her playstyle just, at least at the time, I mean, I'm getting used to it. Not that I'm getting used to it. I'm used to it. I enjoy her playstyle now, but just not as great as these other Valkyries that I have on the list. But anyways, we're talking about God Kiana, and we're supposed to be talking about Vermillion Knight. So Vermillion Knight dropped right after her, and my love for the game did dwindle a little bit. I will say that, I'll be honest. It dwindled a little bit after God Kiana, but then Vermillion Knight came out. I pulled her, I think, relatively early. It didn't take me a whole lot to go ahead and pull her. And when I did pull her, her playstyle just fit me fantastically. I loved exactly what she brings. Her invincibility frames, everything she brought to the table was A1 plus. So Vermillion Knight, number 4, I guess you could say on my list. She is a fantastic Valkyrie. All right, and I know we were talking about God Kiana for quite some time, and we were into some Memento gameplay while we're talking about Vermillion Knight as well. But Memento coming in, I guess you could say, the number 3 spot. Originally she was not on the list beforehand, but once I obtained the Frozen Naraka and started playing with her some more, she became a fantastic Valkyrie. Her playstyle was always one that I enjoyed, being able, just as a Sakura in general, being able to dodge, use her katana, being able to use the charge attack to do great critical damage, and just overall a great damage output. She was one that I always enjoyed, but when she fell off hard for me, and it was very difficult to go ahead and put her on any team compositions, really involve her in any events that I was doing, because it just wasn't really viable. But once we, or I should say, once I obtained the Frozen Naraka and truly maxed it out all the way, Memento became top tier for me, and Memento actually became a Valkyrie that I use on a very frequent basis. What the Frozen Naraka brings to her with the damage reduction, the increased damage output, freezing the enemies, everything that Memento needed really brought her back for me, and now she's fitting on a lot of teams, and I mean a lot of teams that I go ahead and use. So Memento coming in at the number 3 spot. Fantastic Valkyrie. All right, my boys, so coming in, I guess you can say at the number 2 spot. I should probably stop saying guess. It is, it's tough. It's tough to say. I don't have them in a particular order. This is just how I laid out the gameplay, to be quite honest with you. But coming in at the number 2 spot, Ice Rita, Argent Artemis. Now, I mentioned this in videos in the past. She is a Valkyrie whose playstyle I enjoy a lot. Reason being is because she's able to freeze any enemy. Doesn't matter if it's a boss, if it's just a grunt, if it's just a regular enemy, she's gonna freeze them, and she has the ability to do that at least for a short period of time. She has Crescent Harvest, who allows Ice Rita to do extra damage, and she has her ultimate is something that I really enjoy. With a cost of only 80 SP, she's able to get the ultimate off quite frequently, and that's where Ice Rita really shines. When she does her ultimate, she gets a damage reduction, which means she can sit there and be able to hit the enemy quite often and not take a whole lot of damage, and then she's able to dish out the damage with the extra damage output. So Ice Rita, one Valkyrie that I enjoy using on a lot of teams, one Valkyrie that I use very often. Her playstyle is fantastic to me. All right, and I guess you can say this is the #1 spot for me, and probably to no one's surprise, the Ayrshire Reason Cyber Angel Branya. Her playstyle is just fantastic for me. She can be a distance type of Valkyrie for you. She can be an up in your face type of Valkyrie. Whichever playstyle you enjoy, she can fit that mold. She is the only Valkyrie that can ride a bike. I mean, that right there should say it all for you. Her ultimate, as you can see on screen right now, is just fantastic. Once she does her ultimate, she's able to go ahead and ride the bike. You can get away from enemies. You actually heal yourself while you're in your ultimate. She's able to do the spin attack. Everything associated with the Ayrshire Reason Cyber Angel Branya, her playstyle, what she brings to the table, how much damage output she brings, her damage reduction. It's just fantastic. I really use this Valkyrie on a very frequent basis. I put her on a lot of teams. She messes with a lot of Valkyries. She has her ultimate evasion that is time fracture, which triggers a lot of QTEs, as well as being able to freeze the enemy, which triggers a few QTEs as well. So she's very comparable on a lot of teams. She meshes well with a lot of Valkyries. Her attacks are fantastic. Like I mentioned, you can be up in your face, or you can go ahead and attack from a distance. And then her ultimate, she rides the bike. Enough said. She rides the bike, and so the bike is fantastic. And I'll admit, the bike is, if you aren't used to it, it takes some time getting used to riding the bike. But once you get used to it, it's something that I'm sure you'll enjoy, because it's something that no other Valkyrie can bring to you in the game. Cyber Angel Branya is the only one that can ride the bike, and so she is the only Valkyrie where you can actually utilize that mechanic. So just with that in mind, it makes using Cyber Angel Branya just really fantastic. One Valkyrie, like I mentioned, I put on a lot of teams, mixes very well, and she's a mecha type, which, you know, there are some good mecha types out there. Vermillion Knight, Memento are the two that I mentioned in this video, but it's not as deep as the biological type, in my opinion. So Cyber Angel Branya, a fantastic Valkyrie. She is amazing, and like I mentioned, one Valkyrie that I use on a very, very frequent basis. But in the comments below, let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you find my list to be adequate. Let me know if you disagree with my list, which I'm pretty sure you do. Everybody has their own opinions on which Valkyrie they enjoy using the most and things of that nature. So with that being said, if you do, go ahead in the comments below and let me know who you like to use. Let me know your top 5 favorite Valkyries to use in the game, or who you use the most frequently. But with that being said, we'll go ahead and jump back on the ship, and then we'll go ahead and close the video out. Once again, I appreciate my boys. So that was the video. That was the gameplay. I hope you enjoyed what you saw today. Like I mentioned, if you did, go ahead and drop a like and subscribe if you're new. But with that being said, I am going to go ahead and get out of here. Remember to stand out, be different, have fun, go further beyond in everything that you do. And until next time, my boys, until next time, it's your homie Cody GT, and I'm out.